Picture this. You've been planning your dream cruise for months, maybe even years. You've booked the perfect cabin, researched every port, and counted down the days. Then embarkation day arrives, and within the first few hours, you're already stressed, frustrated, and watching your vacation budget drain away through costly mistakes you never saw coming. Sound familiar? You're not alone. The truth is, embarkation day is where most cruisers sabotage their own vacation before it even begins. But here's the thing, it doesn't have to be that way. Today, I'm sharing the 12 biggest embarkation day disasters that could completely derail your cruise, and more importantly, exactly how to avoid every single one of them. Stick around because mistake number 7 involves a sneaky phone setting that has cost unsuspecting cruisers over $1,000 in unexpected charges. Trust me, you don't want to learn about this one the hard way. Let's start with the granddaddy of all cruise mistakes, the same-day flight gamble. I know what you're thinking. Flying in on the morning of your cruise seems like the perfect plan. You save money on a hotel night, maximize your time at home, and arrive just in time for the adventure to begin. But here's what the cruise lines won't tell you up front. This strategy is essentially playing Russian roulette with your entire vacation. In today's world of unpredictable air travel, flight delays have become the norm rather than the exception. Weather systems, mechanical issues, air traffic control problems, crew scheduling conflicts. Any one of these can turn your perfectly timed arrival into a nightmare scenario where you're watching your ship sail away from the terminal window. And let's be crystal clear about something. That ship will not wait for you. Not for 5 minutes. Not for anyone. The maritime industry operates on strict schedules, and cruise lines have zero flexibility when it comes to departure times. Miss that ship, and you're looking at potentially thousands of dollars in costs to catch up with it at the next port, assuming that's even possible. The smart play? Always fly in the day before your cruise. Yes, it means an extra hotel night, but think of it as insurance for your entire vacation investment. Many port cities offer cruise-specific hotel packages that include airport transfers and transportation to the terminal. These packages turn what could be a logistical headache into the official start of your vacation experience. Moving on to mistake number 2, completely misunderstanding your arrival time slot. When you complete online check-in, you're required to select a specific arrival time at the terminal. This isn't just a suggestion or a rough guideline. Cruise lines implement these time slots to manage the flow of thousands of passengers and prevent the terminal from becoming an absolute madhouse. Here's where it gets tricky, though. Some experienced cruisers will tell you these times aren't strictly enforced, and that showing up early usually works out fine. While that's sometimes true, banking on it is risky business. If you arrive significantly before your designated time, you might find yourself waiting in a holding area or even being turned away until your proper slot begins. The key is making a conscious decision about what kind of embarkation experience you want. Early arrival typically means more time to explore the ship, grab lunch, and start your vacation while the ship is still relatively uncrowded. Later arrival usually means shorter lines, less chaos, and immediate access to your cabin since it's more likely to be ready. Whatever time you choose, respect it. Don't show up early and expect VIP treatment. The terminal staff are managing a complex operation, and your cooperation makes everyone's day smoother. Now let's talk about mistake number 3, the carry-on catastrophe. When you arrive at the terminal, friendly porters will eagerly take your large luggage and whisk it away to be loaded onto the ship. This is a fantastic service, but it creates a critical vulnerability that catches many first-time cruisers completely off guard. Once those bags disappear into the ship's loading system, you won't see them again for hours. They'll eventually appear outside your cabin door, but that could be well into the afternoon or even early evening. This means you need to have everything essential with you in a carry-on bag. I'm talking about all your important documents, passports, cruise documents, identification, any medications you might need throughout the day, valuable items like jewelry, electronics, and cash, a swimsuit if you plan to hit the pool or hot tubs before your luggage arrives. And absolutely include a change of clothes for your first dinner. The nightmare scenario here is realizing your passport is locked away in your checked luggage while you're standing in the check-in line. You literally cannot complete the boarding process without proper identification, and retrieving bags from the loading system ranges from difficult to impossible. Mistake number 4 might seem obvious, but you'd be surprised how many people attempt it, trying to sneak prohibited items past security. Cruise ship security operates more like airport security than hotel check-in, and they take prohibited items very seriously. The obvious stuff includes items like clothing irons, candles, and anything that could be considered a weapon. But there are also surprising restrictions that vary by itinerary. Some Caribbean destinations actually prohibit camouflage-patterned clothing. Certain medications require special documentation. Some electronics have restrictions based on battery types. If security finds a prohibited item in your carry-on, your boarding process stops right there while they sort it out. If they find something in your checked luggage, you'll get a note in your cabin to report to security, which delays your luggage delivery and eats into your vacation time. The solution is simple. Spend 5 minutes reviewing your cruise line's prohibited items list before you pack. It's that easy, but skipping this step can cost you hours of frustration on embarkation day. Let's move to mistake number 5, treating the mandatory safety drill like an optional activity. Before your ship can legally leave port, every single passenger must complete the muster drill. There are no exceptions, no exemptions, and no shortcuts. The good news is that most modern ships have streamlined this process significantly. Instead of everyone gathering at lifeboat stations for a lengthy presentation, most cruise lines now use a virtual system. You watch required safety videos on your phone through the cruise app or on your cabin television. Then visit your assigned muster station for a quick check-in where crew members scan your key card. The entire process typically takes less than 10 minutes, but skipping it will bring your vacation to a screeching halt. The ship's crew will make increasingly frequent announcements calling for stragglers, and eventually, they'll start reading out cabin numbers of passengers who haven't complied. Trust me, you don't want to be that person. Get this done the moment you board the ship, and then you can relax and actually start enjoying your vacation. Now we come to mistake number 6, which is particularly tempting if you've purchased a beverage package. Overindulging in alcohol on your very first day. Look, I get it. You're on vacation, you want to cut loose. And if you've paid for unlimited drinks, you naturally want to get your money's worth. But starting your cruise with excessive drinking is a recipe for disaster on multiple levels. First, there's the obvious issue of feeling terrible on day 2 of your expensive vacation. Hangovers are bad enough at home. They're absolutely miserable when you're stuck on a ship in the middle of the ocean. More importantly, there are serious financial and safety implications. Many travel insurance policies contain clauses that can deny coverage for injuries sustained while intoxicated. A simple slip and fall that would normally be covered could suddenly become a massive out-of-pocket expense if alcohol was involved. Remember, the sun and sea air will dehydrate you much faster than you're used to on land. Your tolerance will be lower, and the effects will hit you harder. Pace yourself, drink plenty of water between alcoholic beverages, and think of your beverage package as a marathon investment, not a sprint challenge. Here's mistake number 7, and this is the big one I warned you about earlier. Of all the costly errors you can make on embarkation day, this one happens completely in the background while you're having fun, and it can result in phone bills that exceed the cost of your entire cruise. The mistake is forgetting to turn off your phone's cellular data before the ship sails away from port. Once your cruise ship moves into international waters, it switches to its own satellite-based cellular service, commonly called cellular at sea. The roaming charges for this service are absolutely astronomical and are not covered by any domestic phone plan and most international plans. We're talking about charges that can easily reach $10 to $20 per megabyte of data used. Your phone will happily connect to this service in the background, downloading emails, updating apps, syncing photos to cloud storage, and racking up charges at a breathtaking pace. The solution is bulletproof and simple. When you hear the ship's horn signaling the sail away celebration, immediately put your phone in airplane mode. If you've purchased a ship Wi-Fi package, you can then manually turn your Wi-Fi back on while keeping cellular data disabled. Make this a non-negotiable ritual. Ship horn sounds, airplane mode goes on. No exceptions, no just for a minute. No exceptions whatsoever. Mistake number 8 is about missing one of the most magical moments of your entire cruise, the ship's actual departure from port. Now, I need to distinguish between two different experiences here because many people confuse them. The sail away party is the high-energy pool deck celebration with loud music, dancing, and big crowds. It's fun if that's your scene, but it's not mandatory, and frankly, the chaos isn't for everyone. What you absolutely should not miss is the actual experience of the ship pulling away from the dock and heading out to sea. This is a genuinely magical moment that marks the true beginning of your voyage, and you want to be somewhere you can actually witness and appreciate it. Instead of fighting crowds on the pool deck, find your own perfect vantage point. If you have a balcony cabin, watch from there. Find a forward observation deck for the best views of where you're heading. Grab a seat at an aft bar to watch the wake form behind the ship. The organized party is optional, but don't be stuck inside unpacking when this moment happens. Mistake number 9 involves one of the most important relationships you'll have during your cruise, with your cabin steward. These crew members work incredibly hard to keep your room comfortable and functional, but their role extends far beyond just making beds and replacing towels. Your steward delivers important documents throughout the cruise, from port information to final disembarkation instructions. They can arrange special room configurations, provide extra amenities, and solve problems that could otherwise ruin your day. The mistake is treating them like they're invisible or taking their service for granted. On embarkation day, make an effort to introduce yourself when you first encounter them. This is the perfect time to make any special requests. Extra pillows, specific bed arrangements, or having the minibar emptied. Keep in mind that embarkation day is extremely hectic for cabin stewards, so you might not actually meet yours until day 2. If you have non-urgent requests, consider leaving a polite written note in your cabin. They'll appreciate your consideration during their busiest time, and it ensures your needs get addressed. Moving to mistake number 10, rushing straight to your cabin and expecting it to be ready for occupancy. If you're among the earlier boarders, your stateroom almost certainly won't be ready for guests yet. Cabin stewards are working frantically to clean and prepare thousands of rooms, and the hallways are often blocked off while this work continues. Most cruise lines don't officially release cabins to guests until mid-afternoon, typically between 1 and 2:30 p.m., while doors sometimes get unlocked earlier, allowing you to drop off carry-on items. You shouldn't count on it. Use this time strategically instead. Explore the ship's layout so you know where everything is located. Grab lunch at one of the less crowded venues. Start familiarizing yourself with the daily activity schedule. If you're carrying beverages like wine or soda, this is why selecting a later arrival time might be wise. You won't have to lug everything around for hours. Mistake number 11 happens later in the day when your checked luggage finally appears outside your cabin door. The error here is procrastinating on unpacking, thinking you'll deal with it tomorrow or later in the cruise. I know unpacking isn't the most exciting vacation activity, but living out of suitcases for an entire week creates unnecessary clutter and stress in your already compact living space. Taking 20 to 30 minutes to properly unpack as soon as your luggage arrives pays dividends throughout your cruise. You'll know exactly where everything is located when getting ready for dinner or port excursions. Your cabin will feel more like a comfortable home base rather than a storage unit. Getting dressed each day becomes quick and easy instead of a scavenger hunt through multiple bags. Pro tip: pack a few extra collapsible hangers because cabins never have enough for a full cruise wardrobe. Once you're unpacked, store your empty suitcases under the bed to maximize your floor and closet space. Finally, mistake number 12, wasting precious vacation time standing in the guest services line. On embarkation day, You'll inevitably see a surprisingly long line of passengers waiting at the guest services desk, often stretching across the ship's main atrium. While some people have legitimate issues that require immediate attention, one of the biggest reasons for this line is passengers hoping for last-minute free cabin upgrades. Let me be very direct about this. In today's cruise industry, ships sail at near-capacity levels. The chances of free upgrades being available are virtually zero. If upgrades are available, which is rare, you'll almost certainly have to pay for them. Starting your vacation with a long, frustrating wait only to be told no is a terrible way to begin your cruise experience. Unless you have an urgent issue that absolutely cannot wait, skip this line entirely. Use that time to actually start enjoying your vacation. Have a cocktail, explore the upper decks, grab a relaxed lunch, or simply walk around and get your bearings. You can visit guest services later in the evening or the next day when the initial rush has died down and lines have disappeared. Your vacation time is the most valuable currency you have. Don't waste it waiting in line for something that's probably not going to happen anyway. There you have it, 12 embarkation day disasters that can derail your cruise before it even begins, and exactly how to avoid every single one. Follow this playbook, and you'll be sipping cocktails and enjoying your vacation while other passengers are still stuck dealing with preventable problems. But I'm not done yet. I have 2 bonus tips that will put you even further ahead of the crowd. First, avoid the main buffet for your embarkation day lunch. It's famously chaotic during boarding hours, packed with confused passengers trying to navigate an unfamiliar space while juggling carry-on bags and excited kids. Instead, check your cruise line's app or daily planner. Often, the main dining room or specialty restaurants offer a much more civilized lunch experience with better food and actual table service. Second, protect your luggage from weather exposure. Your bags sometimes sit on uncovered pier areas before being loaded onto the ship, and unexpected rain can soak through zippers and seams. Before leaving home, spray the zipper areas of your luggage with fabric waterproofing spray. It's a simple preventive step that can save your clothes from starting the cruise damp and wrinkled. Master these strategies, and you'll board your next cruise like a seasoned pro while everyone else falls into the same predictable traps. Your vacation starts the moment you step onto that ship, not when you finally solve the problems you could have avoided in the first place. What's your number 1 embarkation day secret? Drop it in the comments below, and let's build the ultimate guide together. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy cruising.